Good morning out on the Bass. Lovely sunny day in North Wales. Took me about 10 minutes to get out to this mark. I'm going to spin round now and go the way I like to fish, into the tide. See if we can pull out a bass. It's a good mark this. I'm going to be fishing about 9 foot of water. Nice and calm. Coming eastwards, there's a little bit of swell, which in a little boat like this you feel. Heading back, it should be calm. I want to get myself in about 9 feet of water. I'm fishing 2 floating lures. The only lures I fish. These floating lures, about 3 different depth settings. As in, there's 3 different types that go different depths. A few different patterns, but ultimately it's the same lure. Floating for a reason. When I hook up on one rod and I turn the engine out of gear, the other lure just pops up. You don't end up getting one lure snagged while you're concentrating on the fish on the other. Right, let's get into 9 feet of water and see what we can catch. Beautiful, beautiful day. Sunny North Wales, not far from Colwyn Bay. I launched at Portharius. Wind's dropping right off. It's probably going to get even calmer. Try not to crack the prop on a big rock. Still see the moon up there, look. Right, we're going in. My favourite bass mark. Doing about 3 knots, fishing 10 feet of water with diving lures. They'll dive about 5 or 6 feet down, which means I'm dragging the lure 3 or 4 feet above the deck. Good chance of hooking a rock, obviously. Hopefully not. 9 foot. We're in. This is the mark. As soon as them lures come past that jetty, we're fishing over rocks. If I don't catch one on this first pass, as you come towards the end of the pass is my actual favourite spot in this depth of water. I'll give you a heads up when we get there, just so you know where I get most of my fish. Big tides as well, so the fish are going to be behind rocks. And if they're facing into the tide, we're going to be coming from behind them. I always find, for some random reason, when the lure goes from behind them over their heads, they just dart after it. They don't have time to think, it's instinct. If it's coming towards them, I never catch as much when I'm going with the tide. I always catch more when I'm going against it, which seems ironic. Most people will tell you they need to see the lure coming. No, they don't. As soon as I see it, bang. I'm getting shallower now. 8 foot. Got to be careful here. Yeah, I'm not a fan of 7 foot. Just needs one big rock and I'll crack the prop. Get back into 8 foot if I can. The other problem, if I go under 7 feet, apart from the risk of hitting the engine on a big upstanding rock, under 7 feet I've got much more chance of catching a lure against a rock or some weed. 9 foot is my preferred depth, so I'm just moving offshore a bit here because I've dropped down to 7.6. I'll fish my favourite spot. There's a bit more water on it. 8 foot again, that's better. Here, bassy, 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 bassy. I caught 4 bass yesterday, and 3 of them fell to the white lure with red stripes down the side of it. Actually, all 4 did. 3 that I landed, and 1 got away, and the 1 got away snapped me off and spat the lure. So that lure's no good. So I got 2 more of the same. I'm now fishing with both rods on the white lure with red stripes down the side, which was so effective yesterday, and they were good bass. 5 and 6 pound, 3 of them. If they're here, they've got to take these lures. Great action in the water. When you cast them out and you just pull them alongside, they look amazing. If I get a chance, I'll do one after, so you can see it. Really effective for bass. Let's see if it's effective today. The good thing is, you know, if one of these rods goes off and you get a head shake and it's not a rock, it's only going to be a bass. Nothing else will take them lures. I suppose a massive mackerel might attack it and accidentally get hooked side of the mouth, possibly. Never happened to me though. I'm looking at the rods. I don't need to. When they go off, you know it. The bass smash the lure. There's no gentle bite. It's whack and then boom. I've set the clutch on both rods. So that I don't snap off, hopefully. Bit shallow again. Great ground though. Lots of underwater features, rocks. First bass yesterday was about now in the tide. It's a bit earlier time wise, but about this state of tide. Obviously the tide's knocked back about 40 minutes today, so I'm fishing the same tide state and condition I did yesterday with the same lures, which should mean success, but not guaranteed. I think the first 2 fish were the first 90 minutes. They seem to move in at a set point to feed all these rocks here. And if you're here when they're moving in and they're moving through this water, you can get 2 or 3 quite quickly. The irony is I have most of my success when I'm directly in front of that rock crop outage, as in when the lure is. So we're starting to get to my most favourite point. Caught fish all along here, but I'm going to turn in a little bit in a minute, depth allowing, and that patch there often bears fruit. But it's not when I'm in front of that patch, it's when the lures are, and they're out quite a way behind me at the moment. The water's a bit murky, so I'm going to have to be quite fortunate and actually go almost over the top of one of the fish, because I'm not sure how far they can see in this. Obviously see better than us, but the murkier the water, the less distance they're going to see. Depth finder's marking fish here as well. Little small fish. There you go. Now that is definitely a fish. Yeah, that's a fish, guys. It's not a monster. Whoa, I'll take that back. Whoa, I'm just in very shallow water, so I'm battling a fish and I want to just get into a little bit deeper water if I can. That is a good bass. 6 foot. Let me get out of here. Whoa. That is a fish, guys. But I'm in very, very shallow water. So at risk of losing the fish, I just need to get into a bit of deeper water. He's a beast. But I'm in too shallow water. Whoa. He's coming with me. Whoa, he hit the boat. He hit the boat. Sorry fella, but I need to get you into deeper water. Too shallow. So we're moving out a little bit into deeper water now. You can see the lure I was talking about. What a cracking lure that is. He's such a good fish that I just need to take my time here. He's got plenty of energy, that lad. Right, I'm in about 10 foot of water now, so he's got plenty of fight left in him. It's hard to see how well he's hooked. We're going to find out in a minute. Gee whiz. That is one big heavy fish, fella. And that's welcome aboard to you, Sunshine. Yeah, cracking little fish, that one. First time out. Now, the challenge, of course, now, I'm going to keep the engine running and just push off into deeper water while I deal with him. The challenge I've got now is unhooking him. And I'm having a barbecue tonight, so I'm also going to be dispatching him, so I'll probably cut that off in a minute. So he's going to go to sleep. I'll probably edit this out. For those that have stayed with me, what I've got to be super careful of here is if he starts to thrash around with that hook in his mouth, that could end up in my leg, which I really do not want again. So I had to dispatch him before I unhook him. Otherwise, I end up with a drama. He does seem to be gone though, to be fair. Hook out first and off the boat. First order of business is to separate them from me. And now, guys, we can have a bit of a look at him. He is an absolute brute. Look at him. Perfect size, probably about £5. Perfect eating size, so this young man will be going on the barbecue. Cracking fish, really pleased with that. Exactly where I said. A bit precarious when I got into very shallow water there at one point. Very shallow water. What a cracking fish. Great start. Unfortunately, I think what I was telling you before about the floating lures, you can see how precarious it is with a big fish like that. It's not the fish I'm worried about, it's the hooks. So I'll tag a picture in the video now from last year where I wasn't concentrating. I brought a fish aboard before I dispatched him. He flailed on the deck and he put one of the trebles through my calf, and then he continued to flail about. That could have been quite dangerous. He could have ripped my calf away from the bone or all sorts. So the biggest concern you've got bringing fish like that aboard, they're very powerful mussel housers, is either unhook them and let them go by the side of the boat if you can, or when you bring them in, dispatch them and be sure they're dead, and then you can safely unhook them. What the problem I have now is I'm having a barbecue tonight, so I'll take 2 fish. 3rd and 4th and 5th fish, if I catch them, I've got to unhook them side of the boat. I'm not bringing them aboard because I'm not dispatching them. So, these are the lures. Floating, diving lure. Dives to about 3 meters if you were going really quick, but I'm getting about 6, 7 feet out of them in this water at 3 knots. They're available on the website, fishsimple.co.uk, along with the feathers and the hooks that we use. So there you go. Hope you found that useful. Be sure to subscribe and like. Okay, welcome back. I've reset it. We're back out again, both floating lures. I count one out 14 centimeters. I count the other one out 14 seconds and 21 seconds. It just means that they're staggered behind the boat, and then when I turn, they do that rather than same distance and clash and tangle. So you've just seen the first bass fall to this method of fishing. I'm coming around again now. I think this is tangled. You can tell by its head knocking. Something's not right with this lure. Well, we'll go again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 and 14. So I count them out 14 centimeters one side, 21 the other, for the reason I've just described. Stops them tangling when I turn, which I'm about to do. So you've just seen the first bass fall on the first run over the grounds I'm fishing. You'll probably wonder why I've not shot straight back there again. That's how I like to rest it once you've had a fish diving around. Plus you're running an engine over the top of shallow ground as well. So I'm going to spin back round now. And we'll go back through that mark that I like so much. There's bass all along here. But I've been over this that much. I know that I can fish in 9 foot of water I've never seen anything when I'm in 9 foot big enough to clout the bottom of the boat or the engine on this patch of water. I can't speak to the rest of this water here. I don't know how big the boulders are. I mean, that's not to say there isn't a big boulder here, I've just never connected with it. But I've been here at very low water, and I've seen what sticks up and what doesn't, and I know where they are. So I'm fishing in 9 foot and I'm trawling at 3.5 knots and I'm using diving lures. These lures have caught me fishing, as you see, 8 foot of water. They've also caught me fishing 28 foot of water. But if you're fishing 28 foot, these are the deeper diving ones of the options online. If you're fishing 28 foot, you want relatively clear water at that point, so the fish can come up for it. But the fish tend to see them no matter how dark it is. But I do have more success in 25, 30 foot when it's clearer, and on smaller tides, ironically, as well. So the lures are out, the line is self up, a bit like the scene from Top Gun Maverick, the 3rd one, where Tom Cruise says, "I'm going anywhere, I'm going in." Wits about you, 8 foot of water and all that. You saw the struggle I had with that fish. I ended up getting drifted into, I think, 6 foot at one point. Bit shallow for me, that. So we're marking fish here. Probably speed it up a little bit. That's a fish. That's a fish there. I don't know if you can see it. That is a fish. And that'll probably be a decent sized bass. And we're about to go over the top of that with the lures any minute now. I tend to find when that comes to the edge of the screen, then the lures are near the fish. So any second now, if it's going to have one of these, nope. Right, we're going in. The tide's flooding in quite quickly, so I can start to move into the shore with every one of these runs and stay in the 9 foot, 8 to 9 foot zone, but fish a different piece of the seabed. Back in 7 foot territory again, so I'm just moving offshore a bit. Don't want to get snagged on the bottom. 8 to 9 feet I want. What beautiful, beautiful day. How calm it is. There you go. Whoa. Now that absolutely mullered that lure. Mullered that lure. And he's on the surface already. This is one unhappy fish. Hard to judge size-wise yet. Whoa. He knows he's hooked now though. Yeah, it's a good fish. Nice fish. And as you can see, he took the same lure again. That's been doing me so much success. Not quite as big as the last one, but a sizable fish all the same. It with a hook. So that's a decent enough fish.